Now, he may have a viral hit with more than 20 million YouTube views, but he's no overnight sensation. A-lister joined by US singer Andy Grammer.
What's up?
How are you?
Good to be here.
How has the last year been for you?
It's been so much fun. Yeah, over in the US, it's been going like incredible, and this is one of the first places I'm getting to come see it through. Hopefully, to get it out of the country a little bit, just because. Man, it's been going so well in the US.
And as I mentioned before, a lot of people might assume that you're just an overnight sensation and it just happened for you suddenly. But you've actually released an album before. You've been pushing for this for years. So what is your backstory for those?
So I started as a street performer. I did 4 years of busking, which was pretty fun, and it actually really was fun. And so right near the end of that, I kind of met my manager, and I had a song called "Keep Your Head Up" that did pretty well in the U.S. too. Yeah. And so that was my first
right?
It was in Pitch Perfect, totally. So after that, I kind of got to go open for a bunch of people and develop my own fan base and tour on like a large scale. So now to have another one has been so incredible, because to already have kind of a fan base and then get to pour some gasoline on it has been super fun.
So where did the inspiration come from for Honey I'm Good? And when you were writing it, did you kind of have a hint that it would be a big, big single?
Well, it's one of those ones that I wrote really fast, but it came at the very end of the album writing process. So I'd written over 100 songs, and 101 was Honey I'm Good.
How long did that take you to write?
About a year, a little over a year.
Just a year? Wow.
Yeah, writing songs all the time, spending every off second that I had away from shows, like writing music. So to get it, this one was like a lesson in persistence. I just kept showing up and writing and trying to find something that I cared about. And this take on love, on like a love song, is an interesting one that I hadn't heard before. So it's fun when you catch something new.
Yeah.
You know?
And I was going to say, it's a really fun song, and the video, even though it is about love, but it's fun, but it's got a sweet message.
Yeah.
The video is so sweet with all those couples.
Thank you so much.
Do you actually know some of them personally?
Yeah, I know most of them. They're either like family friends or close friends of my managers or fans that I've met before.
Yeah. What about the older couples, especially the one at the end that
they're
has
the best.
Cheeky butt
Oh my
grab?
God, they're incredible. Yeah, 70 years. They've been married for 70 years, and there's like a little butt grab at the end. It's so sweet.
What advice would you give to couples that are in relationships or that are married?
Oh wow. Okay, so I've only been married for 3 years, so I'm a baby at this. I think though, kind of brutal honesty would be the one thing I would say. Yeah, like really getting to know each other and then sharing everything about each other. Like getting down to the dirty stuff quick.
So as you said, you wrote more than 100 songs for the album.
Yeah.
How on earth did you whittle down all those songs?
I think that for me at least, I have to try to figure out, when you listen back to something that I've created, it's like, all right, does that make me feel or not? Because every time that I'm writing something, I like it while I'm writing it. Yeah. The second album, I think that's why artists find it so hard, is like, do it again on call. Can you write me another one on call? And it's like, oh wow, that's actually really hard, really hard to do. Yeah. And to like not be affected by the pressure of needing something, which I was kind of. I think that's why it took so long.
One of the songs that stood out for me was "Holding Out," which I believe is about holding onto your virginity.
Sure.
That's such an intimate thing to open up about. So why did you choose to include that?
Okay, so I wrote, like I'm saying, it was a kind of a hard process to write this second album. And I wrote about 50 songs, and when me and my manager sat back and listened to it, it just didn't sound, it sounded like I was trying to write a hit. To me, to my ears, I'm like, oh man, it sounds like I'm trying to chase what's going on. And my way out of that, of being, because there's so much pressure that you need a single, you need something to hit. Yeah. The way that I found my way out of that fear, writing from a place of fear, was just getting super brutally honest about what I was writing about. And Holding Out was one of those, where it's like, man, this is kind of scary, and that makes it kind of interesting. And there's like no way that I could write that song and be copying anything else. It is like very authentically me. Yeah. And that was one of the ones that helped me kind of get out of that. So then I wrote another 50 kind of in that perspective, and that's what the album is.
I read somewhere that someone compared the album or your sound to the likes of Adam Levine and John Mayer. Would you agree with that? And would you say those artists are inspirational?
Sure, at points, for sure. Like John Mayer, man, I grew up on his stuff. I really loved his stuff. He was kind of the guy that taught me how to play the guitar, because he's got like a lot of interesting chords that aren't like simple. They're like jazzy, interesting stuff. Yeah. So that was one like a major influence. And I love Maroon 5 too, of course. Yeah. I mean, nothing wrong with those two. And
you performed the single on American Idol recently, which is amazing. Would you, in the early days of your career, did you ever consider maybe trying out for a reality show of that kind, like a talent competition?
Yeah, for me it wasn't really the road, because I think what sets me apart, hopefully, will be what I write. Like the take that I have, like my point of view, I think, is what is what would make someone like hopefully gravitate towards me. So I don't know if that matters as much on those shows. I think it's just like who can belt, who can like hit the freaking note. And if you have that voice, then those shows can be like really good for you.
Yeah.
And I think that my voice developed over a lot of years of playing on the street and singing over and over and over again. Yeah. So I'm proud of my voice at this point, but I don't know if that would have been my route. You know.
So you've been on kind of both sides of the coin, because you've been a street busker, as you said, but now you're the success story. Would you say that you look at, now that you've seen both sides of the music industry, do you look at it any differently to how you did maybe like 2 years ago?
Not really. I think it's funny because a lot of things hold true from street performing, right? So one of the things about street performing is that you're out there for a typical day. I'd play for like 10 hours, right? I'd get out there and play for 10 hours. And I would make most of my money and get most of the attention in like a 20-minute period. So you're out there for 10 hours, and then there's 20 minutes where everybody like something is some vibe happens, and then everybody comes, and because everybody's there, now everybody else wants to know what's happening. And so you have like very like short bursts in a 10-hour period. There's like 20 minutes where you're a freaking rock star on the street, right? And I think that that this is very, like, the music industry is very much like that. So I've been doing my thing for quite a long time, and now I'm getting, and every once in a while I have a burst of like, oh man, that guy's crazy awesome, he's huge. And then you gotta, like the media will come by in waves and be like, whoa, we really care about you, you know? Yeah. And then they'll back off for a second, and then they'll come back. Yeah. And kind of being okay with that process of like, that's how this works.
So how is your wife dealing with all this success all of a sudden? How is she coping?
She's pretty awesome, especially it's cool to have so much success around a song which is indirectly talking about her. When I first played it for her, she's like, I think I like this. Are you talking about someone else's ass in the song? I was like,
you want my ass.
Yeah, exactly. No, but overall, she's cool.
Now, I just have one request.
Yes.
You make fun videos. Can I have a cameo in your next one?
You got it. Okay. Totally. Great. Totally. We'll have to shoot over here. We'll make sure it happens.
Yeah, even better.
Exactly. Yeah.
Great. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much for having me.